Hello, Kermit the Frog here. Okay, so this is just soup. Sometimes I don't want any of the soups that I have that I've already put on there for recipes, my normal soups. Sometimes I just want to just throw together shit from that I have in my fridge. So I've got mirepoix going, which is carrots, celery, and onions, sauteing in olive oil right now. Mirepoix is the basis of most soups. Cabbage, green bell pepper, cauliflower, zucchini squash, jalapenos. This is actually not what it says on the label. Some of it is. There was just a little bit of this in there, and I mixed in some stewed tomatoes that I had. I mixed them together. So there's like whole pieces of stewed tomatoes in there, and the juices with the stewed tomatoes. It would be vegetarian. I have vegetarian bouillon, but I'm going to go ahead and use the chicken bouillon. I just have a feeling it'll turn out better. Garlic salt, basil, oregano, olive oil, and some black beans. So right now, I'm going to put in a lot of the spices. Whoops. I guess it wasn't recording. Oh, dang it. So, I added garlic salt, basil, oregano, and pepper to the mirepoix. Mirepoix, carrots, celery, and onions, the base of most soups. There, see, so I have all those green herbs in there. Got the cabbage, green bell pepper, cauliflower, zucchini squash, and jalapenos. I'm going to put those in now. There you can see, I've got it, the vegetables just sauteing, getting them all heated up. The mirepoix has already been cooking. Get the vegetables a head start. So like generally when you make up a soup, something to think about is like color. Like if it seems like everything you've added is green, then try to think of something, you know, that's really different than green, or red, or an orange, or something. You know, so right here I've got a lot of yellows and greens. There's the carrots, but I'm going to add tomatoes, you know. So it'll turn out plenty colorful. It'll look nice. Okay, so right now I'm just going to give these vegetables a head start. I don't want them al dente. I want them much less cooked than that, but I want them hot and then barely starting to cook. Okay, that's pretty good. So now I'm going to add some beans. So when you add beans, now you've added some carbohydrates and some protein, you know. So now it's like before it wasn't really a meal. You know, that's not a meal. It's not a meal unless it has carbohydrates, fat, and protein. Okay, so the olive oil, we got fat. So this will give it everything to make it a meal. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna add the tomato. Okay. Add this. It's really it's this kind of sauce with a little bit of stewed tomatoes. They're the two things I had in the fridge. I just mixed them together. Put the stewed tomatoes in the red sauce container, and then shook them up together to make them one thing. See that? So now it's all tomato stuff all over it. Of course, when it cooks, that's going to reduce way down. So now I'm going to add water. Okay. Pretty much just barely, like I said, it'll reduce. So there, just barely enough to if anything, I added a little bit too much. It'll be fine though. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Like this, it cooked out. By now I've added a lot of olive oil, but Like, you know, I learned that in Spain. It's soup's better if there's oil floating on top of it. Americans think that's gross, but Americans can be pretty foolish. When there's oil floating on top, it gives you something to dip your bread in. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of the bouillon. I'm going to use the chicken flavor, so it officially won't be vegetarian or vegan now, but I could use veggie, but I'm just in the mood for chicken. Not a whole lot. I'm not in the mood for it to be too super duper. Okay, there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook. Look at that.